Hello everyone and welcome to another shoutcast for Major League Mech Warrior. This is going to be a Week 5 elimination match between the QQ Mercenary Corporation and the 228th IBR Swamp Foxes team. Should be a really good matchup. 228th is ranked 7th and QQ is ranked 8th, so this is going to be the closest matchup of the week, although I expect, to be honest, all of them to be pretty good matches. Guess I'll do a quick overview of the other matches happening this week before we get down to talking about this one. The other three are going to be Antares Scorpions versus the Mercstar Turret Drops. I believe that's probably going to happen Saturday night depending on when they work out their schedule. Seraphim Rising Storm versus Marine Mechs will be happening, I believe, on Sunday. Let me check the calendar here. Yes, Sunday at 9:30 Eastern Time, that will be taking place, and then Mercstar, Axis of Ignorance, and Tikhonov Commonality have yet to find a date that works for both teams. Really hoping they can work out their scheduling conflicts there, or whatever. So those are going to be the four matches this week. Our winners bracket gets a week off and then resumes next week. Next week we do start with the best of 5 matches, so the series are going to go longer and the competition is going to get that much more intense, so be sure to tune in for those. As always, I'm going to be giving away mech bays, so be sure to watch, chat or listen or whatever. I'm gonna try to give away as many as I can. I'm also going to try to get better about this by trying to get like a mod in chat giving away mech bays constantly in, quarter and semifinal matches, as opposed to me just randomly and in a very disorganized fashion trying to figure out how to give away mech bays. Even though I do have a plugin, it's still too hard for me. It's still a couple of clicks, and I'm just not willing to do it. So that's the plan for the future. And getting a poke, huh? Getting a poke from Sace right now. Hold on. I don't know if he's, yeah. Sorry, typing out a response here, because scheduling kind of sucks for these people. I would not do this league the same way. Again, I would definitely do a lot of things different, but so, yeah, fun stuff on that front. Sorry about that, but a couple of teams are having scheduling difficulties, and I figured this would happen at some point, and I'm not too thrilled about dealing with it, but that is the joys of being a league administrator. So, let's get back to it. Let's talk about these two teams. We are going to be playing on Frozen City tonight, not Frozen City Night, the regular one, so there's going to be crappy visibility, like always. There's a snowstorm. And so, of course, our first team tonight is my own QQ Rage Quit Mercenary Corporation. Great guys, been around 2.5 years now, I think. Gone through a lot of different phases and various people coming and going, and Carp has held the competitive team together the entire time, and props to him for doing that. He does all the stuff in the guild, so huge shout out to Carp for doing all of the things. Interesting blend of casual and competitive, but unlike some other units that's torn apart, it's actually ended up working out okay for us. And then, of course, 228th with no real fluff text, apparently, that I don't really have. But I've known a lot of 228th guys for a long time. They're a really good group of guys. You know, it was actually 228's Panic Button and that sort of called me out last week on something sketchy I did, and you know, it's good to see like some responsible, caring community members. You know, Dadfire, of course, over there, been a community figure forever. Lots of people doing lots of good things, and it's always fun to play against those guys. Good sports. So this should be an interesting matchup. 228 does have another team entered in the competition. I guess I should mention that's Black Watch, and this week they will be playing Imperial, or not this week, next week, round 6. Looks like they're all in lobby, so I assume we'll be on our way in not too long here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map. I've got a new little setup where it sort of fits onto this page. It's a little bit janky, but hopefully it's gonna work all right for what we need to do. And I expect sort of a brawly thing. Maybe not. Maybe these teams will prefer to do a lot of poking and take ridge positions. But honestly, with that low visibility, especially on this version, I think you might see some close encounters. There's just not a lot of range on this map in general, and one of the places that you see camped a lot in Run Hot or Die is out here. This is a great firing line, because in Run Hot or Die there's only 3 cap points, here, here, and here, and you can't cap these 2. So really there's just 1 to fight over. So you can take an early lead, go down Theta, grab that, and then set up a huge firing line, and it seems to work pretty well. And so, but you won't see that probably in this league because all the cap points are available. It's 12v12. It's much harder to get down there, and honestly, only a single match has gone to cap so far. That was the first drop of Inferno Express versus Mercstar last week. That was a really fun match to watch. Check that out. I've got all that stuff on my YouTube videos. I'm gonna keep exporting them. And I do have timestamps in the description, so you can just jump to the parts that you want to see as opposed to watching me babble for however long. The first drop is going to be Conquest. 3 lights, 3 mediums, 3 heavies, 3 assaults. I got to expect either Dire Wolves or probably Atlases maybe for tanky. Maybe Stalkers if a team really wants to sit back and poke, but I don't know if either team will really want to do that here. And then the team that loses drop 1 gets to pick the side for drop 2. I guess I should probably mention that since QQ's the lower ranked seed, they get to pick the side of the map they want first time. Loser of the first match will get to pick the side they want for the second drop, which is Skirmish, 720 tons, no class restrictions. So that one you tend to see more uniform drop decks, lots of Timberwolves and Stormcrows. Although the last matches I watched were before the nerfs on Tuesday. So we'll see if anything has changed this week. I'll be curious to see if anybody's taken some different and unexpected things. You guys are already guessing numbers in chat, huh? That's good to see. Good to see some early enthusiasm for Mech Bay giveaways. You know, one thing I'm going to lament while I have you all sitting here, being forced to listen to me waiting for this match, I really miss 8v8, and I'll tell you why. Because there used to be a time where you could do a tunnel rush, and it, you know, just like on Forced Colony, tunnel rush was never like a great idea, but it could work in the right situation. But anymore, what a mess. Tunnel rush is just too hairy. The spawns really don't support it anymore. You know, you got one spawn down in, you know, off to the side. guess I should draw here because you guys can't see my mouse anymore. But, you know, with these spawns way off, the tunnel's pretty much a no-go, especially considering how tight it is. You know, they were designed originally with, you know, thinking, well, a couple mechs might need to fit through here. Now, it's just a total mess. Looks like everybody's in the lobby, so I gotta assume we'll be dropping within 2 or 3 minutes here, maybe something like that.
Hey, wake up.
And maybe that's it right there, or maybe that's another person preparing to lodge a formal complaint. Launching Zune, that's what I wanted to hear right there. Okay. Well, to be perfectly honest, I don't really think caps are going to come into play on this map. I don't even know if either team's going to bother for Theta down there. You know, on maps that are this small, it's hard to believe that anyone's going to care about caps. I believe they just launched in, so time to go, presumably. Alright, let's get on Carp. We are launching into the match. Let's get the overlays fixed. Alright, this goes online. This goes online. Perfect. Alright, and it has started. QQ's down here in red, and it looks like they are going the far route. Their fatty spawned out there, so they're going to take Lower City down here. And 228th is just making their approach to the ridge. They might do a full ridge push. We're going to get into thermal mode here, even just in camera, so we can see what's going on. Gotta love the weather on this map. So they are indeed going to push right over Saddle. J-Man gets pushed on his hunchback, and he is going to go down early. I don't know what he was doing out there, but that is not good, and that does not help them right off the bat. J-Man usually puts out good damage numbers, and if you're going to have Lerms, you got to have them for later on. Shred hit, and that Stormcrow, oh, he's legged. He's going to go down early too. So 2 mediums down early on. Just caught out, not where they needed to be. QQ's got a pretty good firing line here. It looks like they're just going to sit out in the open. So 228th pushing right in. Let's take a look at this push. Jay Grong, I don't know. We're going in on him. At lead Timberwolf. It's all spread out. QQ takes down another from 228th, Van Damsel. Looks like QQ is doing an effective job of pulling back. 228th has got their beef around the corner. They got to the fight way too late. But surprisingly, 228th hanging on pretty strong here. 3 down for QQ, 4 down for 228th. And now that the Banshees are at the fight, we'll see how much different this goes. That Timberwolf, Demonic, still up, still doing a ton of damage to the back. That was a nice strike there. It looks like this is swinging 228's way. The focus fire just fell apart for QQ, and now that the Banshees have arrived, it is hard to see this going any other way. They do have all 3 fire starters up, so the fire starters could clinch this. All right, this is gonna be lights or nothing. So let's jump in on Lord Skeletor. Let's let the lights do some work here. Marshall. Ooh, Lisk and Quicksilver went down. That leaves QQ with only 2 mechs left and a lot of fresh things to deal with. They need to create some distance and try to draw that light off on its own. Sitting here and engaging their assaults with that light is probably not gonna work. So it's just Krigor now. He's almost lagged. Things are not looking good. Trying to create some distance here. It does look like they're up on Cat. No, I feel like that's even 228's game right now. So ultimately, a pretty close fight there. The split push, not having their beef in there, put 228 at an early disadvantage. But unfortunately, QQ's focus fire just sort of fell apart there, and that was it. Krigor is legged now. Kimmy not taking any chances, really playing it slow. Not that it matters, these two Banshees will get there eventually, even if Kimmy somehow managed to die in this fire starter. So this first round is going to go to 228th. And the other Banshee, almost totally fresh. Wow. And looking at those damage numbers, it looks like QQ had a more solid bracket of numbers, but 228th really had some high output from those Banshees. Having said that, I think that QQ just spread their damage around, and you know, whereas the first couple of guys got focused down really nicely, they needed to get that Timberwolf and a couple others down very quickly there before the Banshees arrived, because once they did, it's apparent just how not great that one. Of course, J-Man caught out early. Never a good thing, especially on a learn mech. Don't really know why he was taking the chance on that one. Alrighty. So let's see. So now the next one is going to be Skirmish, 720 tons. And QQ is... they get to pick which side of the map they want again, but they will have to press in the event of a tie, which of course would never happen in this league. Both teams get a point, and therefore 228th would win best 2 out of 3, or first to 2 points rather. So that's how that's going. I guess we'll do a quick recap of that match. Might as well. So QQ in blue swept most of their stuff around and set up a line around, you know, Charlie 5 by the cliff. And I think that's a good place to be. You know, you've definitely, it limits your exposure. You really, people past, you know, a certain point, you know, past that line can't really see, you can't really get shots. So it limits, you know, your range of engagement to that. So it's not a bad spot to be in by any means, but the problem was that 228th really was just allowed way too much time. You know, first they took out J-Man, and that was just, you can't have a mech going down with 0 damage out there. And then maybe they were up there putting down some fire that I didn't see about early on, but it seemed like all their beef got there way late. And even if their beef was putting damage on from up here, that should have left the 4 or 5 or 6 guys here really, really exposed to a quick death. But you saw, you know, a Timberwolf skirting around at the back here. You saw a couple others being allowed to live way too long. The fire just spread out. And at the point where, you know, the battle was sort of looking, who knows how this is going to go, 3 Banshees roll around the corner and just start pelting whoever's left. And from there it was all downhill. The Lights did possibly have a chance, but they really needed to work with more coordination and be less risky there. So, well played by 228th. And we'll see how this goes on the next drop. Probably be watching my friends list. So like, I don't know, half of them are in lobby. We'll probably be dropping at about, I I don't know, 5 minutes. Why am I looking at a Damian Marley Wikipedia article? I don't know. But I'm gonna read it. I love Wikipedia. It's like crack. I just can't stop once I start. But anyways, not a whole lot else to say about this match. Now that it's skirmish, I don't expect much to change. Maybe teams will pick a different position, maybe they won't. QQ might just try a repeat of that strategy and try to execute it a little bit better, or they might try changing it up and doing something totally different. You never know. I mean, these are the guys who last week brought, like, what, 2 Locusts, an Awesome, and a bunch of other really sketchy shit to a drop, so I'm hoping for the best. Well, looks like they're mostly getting in lobby here, so probably dropping in a couple minutes. Gonna go ahead and cycle through the rest of the overlay now because it's pretty awesome. Farp Noodle did a great job on it, and extra big shout out to him because he fixed a problem I was having with it. So that was super nice. Oh, damn it. Thank you, Peter2000. This is not Blackwatch. This is Swamp Foxes, and half of this stream knew that, and apparently the other half of me didn't. So, oh well. Not as bad as leaving the overlay up for, say, 2 out of 3 matches, so I'm getting better, right? So if 2/28 wins here, this is going to be the end of the series. Hopefully they'll play out an extra one anyways, just because it's awesome. But no promises on that one. Hopefully QQ takes this next one, takes it to 3. Of course, to be perfectly fair, I'm totally biased, and I totally want QQ to win. And yes, Defuncology, I'm pretty sure it's just like bullshit information that is a placeholder, just like sitting in the maps.csv file. It's just there to be shiny, and to be honest, a few of the elements here probably need a rework, a background that includes a place for webcams and caster names and some other things. You know, a map screen that features the map more prominently and, you know, cuts the BS to the side. Although I gotta be perfectly honest, I really like the map BS screen, which is, you know, this thing. Yeah, the temperature sounds about right. I believe the population is probably BS. I can't imagine that 1 billion people would live here. Maybe. I don't know. Seems pretty cold to me. Alright. Let's give away MacBay before we get into this next match here. Magic Twitch button. Where are you? Roll, roll, roll. Majora Incarnate, you win. I will message you your code right now. Very good at this whole game yet, but that's okay, because they take forever to get into match. I sort of apologize to the viewers. I'm not particularly talkative today. I'm not doing a great job filling up the space here, but I pulled my back. I feel like crap. And, yeah, I'm just here. I'll be awake for the matches, and that's all I can promise. Can't promise I'm going to take the overlay down, but I'll try. Turns out, I've got a lot of these codes to give away. I feel like during the finals match... How was that? We're just gonna have to have like 2 people in stream, just constantly giving away mech base to get rid of the rest of these, so that's good. And then after the tournament, I'm probably just gonna release the list. I'll probably hold a raffle, that's what I'll do, for the list of supposedly already used codes, like a month after the tournament ends. And whoever wins it gets to go through that giant sheet and try all the codes a second time to see if anybody failed to redeem theirs. I'm sure you'll probably end up with about 5 mech bays and maybe even some MC if you're lucky. Although I sort of doubt it on that one. Still in lobby. Still here. So, I guess there's something I can talk about. There's a new league happening. Let's get some details on this. MCW, Merrick Civil War is what it used to be called. Now it's going to be called Mercstar Community Warfare, I guess. And they just launched into match, so you don't get to hear about it. You just get to wonder. Now you'll never know. So here we go, second match between 228 Swamp Foxes and QQ Mercenary Corporation. QQ is going to be over there in blue on the same spawn they had the first time, and 228 is going to be down here with us in red. Alright, let's take a look at these drop decks. I see Thunderbolts, Fire Starters, a Hellbringer for ECM, and that's it. It's just going to be WUB. It's just going to be WUB. They're going all in on short-range pulse lasers, and oh my god, QQ is going all in on short-range pulse lasers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a hilarious brawl. This is going to come down purely to focus fire. These teams are both going to just smash into each other at Ridge. I have a hard time believing they'll do anything else. Maybe they're going to wait here. Maybe they've got large pulse. Maybe they're going to receive here. I don't know. We're going to go in on I guess, Iron Chance here, leading the charge for 228th. QQ set up to receive right now. Yep, the lights. Oh, geez. They are not going straight over. So QQ's definitely got a nice firing line there, and it looks like they must be built for longer range. They're not medium pulse. 228th shifting towards lower. They're gonna go with the low approach, so QQ has no chance to snipe them on the way in. What's QQ gonna do? Do they see the move? Tiny Tim sees it, but can he get out of there? The rest are shifting. So here we go. Shredhead coming in, down to 80%, down to 70%. First one's legged and he's gone. QQ up by 1. Second one legged. Morgan goes down. It's 1 apiece now. And now it's all over the place. QQ did a great job moving. Tiny Tim did end up getting caught in those buildings. He was not with the rest of the team, but this firing line is strong. It looks like Lord Skeletor here. He goes down. He was legged. And we got a few trying to poke out. And it looks like QQ's got a pretty good firing line. Blade Splint is legged. Fate 6 is legged. Nice strike there. Nice strike. Oh, that is not... Oh, what a train wreck there. So at present, it looks like it's definitely going QQ's way. 3 down for QQ. 3 alive for 228th. That was a nice defense and a nice push shift. That's just going to be this legged dude, and Kemi and his fire starter. And so we go to round 3. Just what we were all hoping for. Looking at the damage numbers, you definitely see that QQ had the focus fire advantage on the way in. Bam, first guy in, dead. A couple of the first guys that went over, really not pulling good numbers, a lot below 200. When you have guys below 100, it's really not a good thing. QQ, solid numbers all across the board, a couple below 200, but for the most part, pretty solid spread. It was really that early focus fire, and QQ kept their focus together this time. They shifted appropriately to respond to that push, kept their firing line straight, and did a great job focusing. So they really pulled back from that first time when that is exactly what they did not do. 228th had a decent push, but I do think that committing to that all up from under strategy was not a good plan. They needed to come from 2 directions. They couldn't fit all of their mechs out, and so the first 3 just got focused down too fast. Update the score here, maybe, if my mouse doesn't totally jank out on me. Alright, whatever that was. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go back to the match view. So it's 1 apiece, and the next map is going to be, next mode is going to be back on Conquest, 3-3-3-3, repeat of the first drop. Bringing up my friends list here. Make sure we don't drop. It looks like it looks like they're already in lobby, so this one might be a little bit quicker on the uptake. Now 228 gets to pick the side of the map they want, and I suspect now that they will take the lower side of the map, which does just tend to be a little bit better in my opinion. Not everywhere on it, but it's got a few options that you don't have on the other side, so we'll see how that goes. Let's do a recap of this last match on Map Tactics, shall we? Alright, we're not going to switch the... What is going on with my mouse? I don't even know, but it's really freaking me out here. Is there... I don't know. I hope I've just been hacked or something. Who knows? And I guess we should probably be doing a mech bay or something, but pretty lazy on that. I don't know. Alright. Let's just get this done and draw this before I forget what I'm doing. Alright. So, 228th up top in red. That's another 2, and that's an 8. Good. Alright. So, basically, they were going to go for saddle push. They wisely saw that QQ had a line. I guess I should probably draw QQ's line considering they were the defensive establishment for that game. And so they decided, nah, let's take this approach so they won't have the time to get in on us. And while I agree with the principle, I don't think the execution was quite there. I think they ended up just funneling themselves through the Epsilon corridor, which is not a wide corridor. In the meantime, QQ just sort of shifted their semicircle back to the Charlie 3 corner and, you know, effectively responded to the push. The first few guys just got picked too fast for 228th, you know, great focus fire on those legs, and that's how it went down. Well played by both teams, but I think that 228th would have been better served by sending half up here. Like, they really needed to hit from two sides, and they eventually got a little bit spread out, but it wasn't as quick as it needed to be, and it really needed to cause chaos. You know, the fact that this line was set up unopposed, pretty much, there needed to be someone skirting behind there and a Thunderbolt, and I think they needed to take more approaches than they did here. But overall, a good round, good strategy. I see that the chat is really enjoying this match. I did too. Great match. I love brawly matches, but ones that aren't just a total mess. You know, ones that the thinking man's brawl. You know, a little bit of sophistication. So, fewer people are in lobby than the last time I checked. So, who knows what's going on at this point? Also, anybody watch Game of Thrones? Anybody else a grammar Nazi? Anybody else love Stannis that much more for the less fewer thing? Just me? Okay. Just making sure on that one, but yeah, so now we wait, I guess. You know what? We don't wait. We give away more mech bays. Type away, you fools. Type. Board monkey. Board monkey. You win. I'm really hoping that... No, this is top team. They haven't won. Okay. I'm freaking myself out, man. Let's see. Giveaway codes are on this page. All right. Another big shout out to Tina and PGI for, you know, giving us $1,000 worth of stuff, for helping us advertise, for giving a bunch of people spectator access so we can even cast, all that stuff. Rigged. I mean, what else would you expect on Homeless Shill's channel? You obviously have to know me beforehand to win a mech bay. Unless you're Caffey Angst, in which case you just snipe the one that I paste in the chat before anybody else can. GG close. I wonder if there's an explanation yet for why I'm reading about Damian Marley. Nope, no explanation. Good. I was hoping it would just remain a mystery. So we're somewhere between 10 and 90% of the way to having a lobby formed and launching into this game. And I really do mean between 10 and 90%. I have no clue where they are or why they aren't in lobby or anything. I don't know. So who knows what's going on? I'm eventually going to try to get something set up where I can just like play an old match on demand and you know, like last week's highlights or whatever that I can just play during downtime like this when I don't want to talk. But for now, this is what you get. Nothing. You know, I read somewhere that every time Gabe Newell hears or sees someone say Half-Life 3 confirmed, that he delays its development by 3 months. I'd like to think that's true. And that its current release date is, you know, a while off. And I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but I would rather not have Half-Life 3 than have a Duke Nukem Forever style Half-Life 3, where it's like, yeah, so we started making this game like 20 years ago and thought we could like just tie it all together. All the different pieces from different eras of gaming, and yeah, man, it'll work out great. No. And I think they know better than that, thankfully. Valve, I have never been disappointed with one of their products, one of the few studios that continues to impress me with everything they release, even if they don't release much. I am a big fan of Valve time and doing it right, as opposed to, well, Christmas is coming up, fuck it, it's time to ship it. So I'm guessing we're at least at 50% now. I see more people in lobby again. They can't get in and out of lobby twice, can they? Is that even allowed? What happened to the 10-minute rule that I made? Nobody has listened to that so far, and no one has complained about it. I feel like all teams are just in a conspiracy to just do this. Well, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to give away another Meg Bay, because boom. I'm just giving away stuff because I'm bored. I got nothing else to do. I got nothing to talk about. We're just going to give you free stuff to placate you. Take note, people. This is how to parent right here. That 50% estimate may have been very optimistic. You know what? We're just forget the overlay, forget casting. Let's just appreciate the fail whale for just a brief moment. Just take it all in. If you haven't tried running this, well, you're most people, but you really should. It builds character. Prosperous Will. I really gotta make that Smurf account. Start playing it. Maybe this is it. This is the only mech. This is the mech I should buy with my cadet bonus, and that's it. Just the Direwolf S with this. Never get any of the other mechs. Never get past basics. It'd be good stuff. Oh my god, why? No. Take away Twitch chat. Alright, let's get the overlay back up. Still in lobby. I swear to God, I'm not just trolling you people. This isn't just like the world's least elaborate, least impressive practical prank. I'm not just making you sit here. No. Because somebody went into match, it just wasn't who I wanted. I would love to have Queen Blade. I would love to have any of the other casters here. I feel like I have casted 6 matches in the last week, and the rest combined have casted like 3 maybe in the last week, maybe 4. I don't know. Tell Queen Blade to get on here. I need help. I need someone's colorful commentary to balance out my salty laziness. I mean, look at these overlays. I'm running the overlays. You don't got to do anything but just show up and talk for a while. I mean, I'd have Vils on here, but I feel like he could manage to offend people in Twitch chat. I don't know. I mean, that's skill, but I have faith in him to do that, so. Day 10. Running out of water. Supplies are short. Still waiting. Still waiting on these teams to drop. Don't know if we're going to make it out alive. I mean, is that just... I'm not... Oh. I really hope that my friends list didn't just like bug out and not update for like a minute or two there. I don't know when we're getting it on this match, but okay, somebody just poked me in TeamSpeak, so I assume this was just a coincidence, and they did happen to drop right now. So, should probably get the overlay down for you people. 1-1. Here we go. It's going to be the final match in the series, but I know. It's going to be the final match in this series between 228 Swamp Foxes and QQ Mercenary Corporation. The winner of this match will move on, and the loser will be eliminated from the Major League Mech Warrior Tournament. So, 228 down by us in red, 3 Direwolves, 3 Hellbringers, Firestarters, and Wolverines. So, uniform drop deck, they're definitely going pokey. But not as pokey as QQ, perhaps, who has all Raven 2Xs for their lights. They also have the Direwolves. They've got Timberwolves and 1 Hellbringer for ECM, it looks like. And, of course, Hunchback, J-Man with his Lerms. They are just going to sit back. It looks like they're just going to capture these 2 points and maybe try to get 228 to come to them. I don't know how that's going to work out. It appears that 228 sort of has the same thought. Unfortunately for QQ, Theta has been taken by 228, so ultimately they're the ones that are going to have to make this move. And if those lights go down there to try to take Theta, they're going to run into a very disadvantageous setup if they get caught by the Firestarters. Don't know if that's going to happen. Doesn't look like anyone's heading down there right now. But it is 3-2 caps in 228's favor. Both teams just have set up their firing line, have no intention of doing anything. And this is definitely the right way to do this firing line. You see a lot of teams set up here, and with QQ it made a little more sense because they had pulse lasers and shorter range things. But if you really want to play the defense game on this side of the map, you need to get the hell away from this point. It's just not a good spot. Being way back here around this hill, you know, having clear sight lines and a lot of distance to traverse really gives you an advantage, especially if you can... you know, if someone has to get to you, they have to come into this little box right here where everybody can shoot at. It's a great defensive location. QQ is now moving. They realize they're going to have to take the initiative, so looks like Blade Splint's just checking, looking at their position. I assume that... Well, I don't know. Let's not assume. Let's go in and take a look at what Blade Splint sees as a scout. Oof. Oh, almost headshot. That's fun. So QQ trying to figure out exactly what approach they want to take. Looks like they're definitely going down lower, similar to what 228 did to them last time. I definitely think that there isn't a, you know, unfortunately not a great way to approach over the big hill. They are all shifting down. Not a lot of damage done on either side. I'm pretty sure no max down. No max down. Let's take a look at health percentages here. Facing the right direction. Kind of see what's going on. Just Blade Splint with that head opened up. That's really about the only actual damage that's going on here. So far, I'm very much a game of positioning. 228th now moving up. They are going to go across saddle, and they're going to try to catch QQ out, I guess, on the low ground. So QQ still getting their firing line into position, and if they can trot all their stuff here, again, this is not a bad place to trade from. You know, if they just want to sit down there, and effectively at this point, QQ owns half of the map. Those fire starters can easily, you know, take the back caps, but at least QQ controls Theta at this point. J-Man getting really ballsy in that hunchback. Those 3 ECM Hellbringers definitely nullifying his ability to do much work in this match. He's got to get his own locks, and unfortunately that means being quite aggressive. Fate 6 and the Direwolf and Floffinator for QQ have taken quite a bit of damage, but you see a couple other, you know, you got somebody down at 67%. You got some weak people over here. Definitely that right arm, weak. Hellbringer doesn't really matter, that's all chip damage. That Wolverine, if that takes one more shot left torso, it's probably gonna pop, I believe. I believe those are XL. Alright, QQ's making the move, it's moving up. Floffinator in the lead Direwolf. We're gonna check on him because I feel like he's a little bit too far in front of everybody else. Might die, maybe not. No, it looks like the rest of them have gotten there. The hill slowed him down enough. So now it's just crest the hill and take down what you can. I don't know that... I see backing off. They need to stand up here and occupy this hill and not back down. Wacky Chief and that Direwolf is down. That is going to be the first kill. Floffinator takes it. And now it looks like they're in pretty good position. That second Direwolf is not long for this world. Of course, Floffinator goes down immediately. A flurry of kills. 4 down for 228. 2 down for QQ. I don't care about this fire starter. I don't care about that. Alright. Why can I not switch mechs? And it looks like QQ now getting pretty split out, but it looks like they're sort of chasing him down. I don't know that this is the way to go. They really need to collapse on one position here. Iron Chance and that last Wolverine's the only one left on that side of QQ, and the rest of them are getting spread out, chasing the rest down, but I don't think it's going to matter at this point. The Direwolf is down. This Wolverine is not long for the world. 20, never mind, %. And it looks like QQ is going to take this series unless those fire starters can pull off a miracle here. We're going to go in on, I guess, one last bite. Has he dropped? Is he... No, they're going for the cap game at this point, and they're going to take it. They're going to take it on caps if QQ doesn't pull their head out and get these last 3 fire starters here. So QQ is really going to have to split their firepower, and that's going to give them a chance. This match is definitely going to come down to the wire. More than anything else, QQ's got to get points decapped. They need to get Kappa, they need to get Gamma, and they're getting them right now. Sigma is going to go up for 228th, I believe. Alright, Kemi in that fire starter, moving in to engage Marshall and Krigor in the Raven. Can they take him in a 2-1 fight? That was a big burst of damage that he took going in. I'm going to go ahead and just watch this fight. Definitely lagged. Raven's lagged. Oh, that other fire starter got there. All the fire starters got there. And so now they're going to have Theta. Marshall's still alive down there. Still holding them off, and support is arriving. Morgan just dropped down on a Direwolf. Now Burmorph on the other side of the map is busy taking that far cap point. Probably won't really, or maybe, I don't know. I don't think they're going to win on caps at this point. And he is going to be the last one now. It's just Demorphin that fire starter. I don't see this going their way. QQ is probably even going to win on caps at this point. Yep, they would. So even if he gets Gamma, it's going to go QQ's way. That was a great series right down to the wire. You see how close of a match it was. All of QQ's remaining mechs, for the most part, taking quite a bit of damage. Carp here fairly fresh, but, you know, that's not long from opening up either. Just reading the chat right now. Yeah, that Raven headshot earlier, that would make anybody's butt cheeks tighten up. That's like, hey, I don't see him. Oh my god. Oh god. You know, trying to think what match it was. I want to say it was 228th Black Watch versus Antari Scorpions. No, it was Mercstar versus CSJ. And Panic Button very early on got totally red, you know, cherry red crit head in a Timberwolf, and so for the rest of the match he couldn't really do much poking. Always crap when that happens. So QQ does end up taking it on kills. 12 to 5. Look at the damage numbers, and definitely QQ has the slight advantage. Not by a whole lot, but more solid numbers across the board. Again, a couple below 100 for 228th, which is basically like that cutoff where it's like, gotta, you know, if mechs went down before doing 100 damage, they really probably haven't even hit their threshold, their heat threshold a lot of the time, and, you know, something went wrong with positioning or tactics that made them go down too quick. That said, QQ, pretty damn good focus fire. I think 228th got caught with their pants down trying to move across, and they didn't really commit. I don't know what they were doing, sort of standing there in that semicircle, but not all there. Unfortunately, the timing worked out just perfectly for QQ when they pushed in. 228th was trying to shift, and it just didn't work for him. So, updating the score now. The series goes to QQ 2-1. There will be no next map because that was it. Guess I might as well give out one more. No, I gave out 3 mech bays. That's good enough for tonight. You kids are going to have to tune in another time when there's more. I will export all of these matches to YouTube. I'm going to link my YouTube channel, I guess. I mean, might as well. So that way you can watch all of these matches when you want without having to figure out like when the matches are actually starting. So yeah, I linked my YouTube channel. They'll be there. You can see those anytime. I'll try to get those exported, you know, every week if I can. And I guess let's do a quick review of how this match went. Alrighty, so let's clear this out. So, QQ this time was up here in red. And 228th down here in blue. 228th early on took a, you know, a tiered firing line defense. I really like that. I think they had a good position. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know why they didn't just sort of stick to it and stick to their guns and force QQ to make the move into an unfavorable position, but ultimately they didn't. QQ wanted to do the same thing, and initially they set up like that. But again, 228 took Theta, and they had the short-range knife fight lights, which means that going down to Theta in Raven 2X's for QQ is just a dangerous proposition. If you get caught out there by the fire starters, you're going to lose that fight. You're not fast enough to get away. You're going to die. So, essentially, QQ only had 2 points, and 228 had 3. So I thought that was going to sort of force QQ to, you know, make the move. But they ended up going down here, and I think they were getting ready to sort of push around, and they would probably have gone in, you know, this way, sort of like 228 did in round 2, maybe done the split push around. I don't really quite know on that one, but I don't know, can I delete things? Race selected? Sure. Oh god, and the mouse is freaking out again. But they didn't. What ended up happening was 228 at this point decided to move up, and then they just got sort of caught in a blob out here with no real firing line. It was a lot of mechs out of the action. If you're going to do a firing line here, you can do it. It's got a lot of elevation, so you can basically fit all your mechs in this tiny little spot here where they can all put fire down that lane. But they were really split up when moving there. Didn't seem ready for what happened, and effectively QQ just said screw it, pushed right in, drove a wedge into the middle of them, had the better focus fire, took down the dire wolves, and you know, then it was just a chase down from that point. I don't want to keep saying Mercstar, but 228 had the cap game for a long time, and they still did at that point. Again, not really sure why they decided to move out of this position. If it was me, I would have just moved, you know, moved back, if anything. I would have just refocused that firing line to point more towards Epsilon instead of trying to, you know, move in and abandon what was effectively a great position, especially because, you know, if you're ever worried about caps, you know, which they shouldn't have been, they could have easily just run the fire starters around back, taken Sigma, taken Kappa, and, you know, that would have been that. I don't think there was any reason for them to move up. I'd be curious to see what that call was, but I think it ended up costing them ultimately. QQ just had the better focus fire when they pushed up over the hill right there, and they came in and crashed in. So definitely a good. Wait. Okay, apparently there's like some RHUD thing going on. Oh well. It just ended apparently. This is the problem with having multiple events at the same time and not enough casters to cover it all. It's awesome things like the 4v4 championship game, which I'm sure would have been balls to the wall awesome. I'm sure it's on streams, but having these things casted is much better. So what else is there to say? I think that's about it. Good games to both of them. It was a tight series, fun matches to watch, especially that round 2 brawl was a real treat. And thank you to the viewers. Thanks everybody for watching. Again, I will export this as soon as I can to YouTube and put up timestamps, so be sure to, go subscribe over there. Again, there's the YouTube link. So, there you go. Thanks everybody, and stay tuned for a post about this weekend's matches. There will be hopefully 3, maybe just 2, and I don't know. So, yep, I will see you later, guys.